The war between Israel and Hamas terrorists continues as thousands have been killed on both sides, including innocent civilians. Today, Israel continued airstrikes in Gaza, killing many more and flattening entire neighborhoods. This comes, though, after the initial attack when Hamas fighters killed hundreds of Israelis 3.5 weeks ago. Tonight, we are hearing about the impact of this war on a young man in Albuquerque. You see, many of his Israeli friends have died, and many more fear for their lives. This UNM student shared stories of pain and heartbreak with our Tommy Lopez as national security officials send out an alert, fearing outbreaks of violence across the country.
Yonatan Haim is a University of New Mexico sophomore. The 22-year-old engineering major is enjoying Albuquerque.
It's been great. I really like it.
Haim came here to run track. He'll go back to his home country of Israel after he graduates. His life changed forever on October 7th, when hundreds of his fellow Israelis were killed by Hamas in the first attack of the recent conflict.
It kind of feels devastating, if I say it right, that I can't do much here. I want people to understand, like, people are suffering from both sides, and I think it's important to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, you've had friends that have died in this conflict.
Yeah. I have 7 friends. Yeah, last few weeks my head is just, just thinking about them. It's like hard to imagine. It's really hard to imagine.
That first attack was a shock.
I was awake all night. It's like you can't sleep.
Haim would later find out that at a music festival near Gaza, one of his friends, Ma'ayan Kalikman, was killed.
They found her body, like she was like running to a kind of hole in the ground to try to hide.
His cousin, Gaia Woodis, who he's really close to, was nearly killed. She had to go to a safe room. She called her mother to say goodbye as people were dying around her.
She was safe.
She survived.
She survived, yeah. I'm glad. כן, אני אדבר איתך אחר כך. אני אדבר איתך אחר כך, בסדר? אני בראיון לטלוויזיה בדיוק.
He regularly speaks with his family and friends in Israel to hear how everyone is doing and to make sure they're safe. They're living in fear every day.
You're afraid. You're afraid. You hear the siren all the time, like the rockets going to your house. All the community hurts. Everyone just so hurt.
He says he has some close friends who are Palestinian, and everyone wants this war to end.
We want peace. We love each other. We truly love each other. We care about each other.
And Tommy joins us now. And Tommy, for weeks now, we've been hearing about security concerns here in America.
Yeah, we have. Thankfully, there are no reports of anyone getting hurt here in New Mexico. Police have increased patrols around places of worship, and many of those places have actually increased their own security, too, in the last few weeks. There was a bomb threat last month at a synagogue in Albuquerque on Jefferson. APD says it didn't find anything. And there's been more concern around the country. The head of the FBI, Christopher Wray, gave a warning yesterday, saying the Bureau is worried that violent extremists may attack Americans. Both Jews and Muslims may be targets.
The ongoing war in the Middle East has raised the threat of an attack against Americans in the United States to a whole nother level.
Among the incidents that have happened in America, a Cornell University student went before a judge today. He's facing charges after allegedly making threats against Jews on that campus, including to, quote, shoot up a campus building. The Anti-Defamation League, an American group that combats anti-Semitism, says it has seen a huge increase in incidents of violence and harassment against Jews, and college students have often been the target.
When we are hearing from students who are saying that they are being harassed, concerned about being visibly Jewish, I think is really concerning.
Thankfully, Haim, the young man we heard from in our story, says he has not faced any of that kind of hate while he's been at UNM.
That's the very least, as he worries about his family and friends over in Israel, of course. All right, Tommy, thanks for sharing his story.